Hey, everybody. Just popping on for a moment to share some insights that have been coming up throughout the day in the readings that I'm doing. So let me know as you're coming in how you're feeling. Today is a massive day energetically. We have some big shifts that are happening behind the scenes, and I believe that we are feeling the ripple effects of it all. So if you're feeling a little wobbly today in your human vehicle, there is definitely a reason for it. Hi, everybody. As you're popping on, let me know how you're feeling and let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know how the energies are treating you. And so I wanted to share a couple of insights that, I'm very blessed because of the work that I get to do. I get to, as a professional medium, psychic, healer, empath, as the work that I do, it's all about healing. It's all about digging in. It's all about awareness. It's all about experience. And so it's really, I think that obviously my divine guidance team has chosen this profession for me because I need all of the insights and all of the healing and all the inspiration as much as my clients do. And so, of course, through the readings that I do, I receive the insights as much as everybody else does. That's the very, very cool thing about being a channel is that I don't know the information that's coming through. I don't have a preconceived notion of what's coming through. Spirit just allows it to flow through me. And so it's very cool that often when it comes out, it's like I'm hearing it for the first time and I actually learn and heal through it too. Hey, everybody. Hi, Diane. Hi, John. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Kath. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Pam. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Daniela. Hi, everybody. So definitely let me know how you're feeling. And especially, if you're an empath, you're going to be feeling this energy big time right now. There is tons and tons of lower vibrational energy that's coming through our own stuff, but collectively everybody's stuff. So you're going to be feeling that heavy stuff leaving, creating room for the lighter stuff. And it's not a smooth transition. It's not, it feels rough to say the least. It's definitely the contrast, right, of the dark leaving the light coming in. There's definitely the contrast that we're feeling. Hey, Karen. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Becky. Hi, Al. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Del. Hi, Carla. So here, I wanted to share this with you. So you guys know that I teach mediumship classes. I teach psychic development classes. And one of the things that happens often in the mediumship when we're doing mediumship development is when my students first learn to be able to open up their third eye and their clairvoyance becomes strong. And this means that they can see with their inner vision. They will often get stuck on details. And so what I mean by that, and this came up in both readings that I did today for clients, so I'm going to share it with you guys because I know that there's a lesson in it for sure for us. But as an example, so when I see spirit, and from the beginning, my clairvoyance was always my strongest. So it meant that I could clearly see spirit. Which kind of makes it easier, right? Because there are some mediums that don't. Some mediums that are just clairaudient, so they just hear, or clairsentient, so they just feel. But I've always had all of it. And so when I would see things, so when spirit would come through and I would see your loved ones in spirit, I would see the specific details. So the hair color, the hairstyle, the clothing, all of that. I would see it as if I'm just looking at you. That's how I would see it that clearly. And I learned through, of course, my development that the way we see things is not always exactly what it is. And I know this as a fact because, of course, seeing things so clearly, I would often, have the clients afterwards, they would show me a picture of their person, or they would show me a picture of the memory that came through. And it was never exactly the way that I had seen it with my third eye or in my mind's eye. It was not always exactly the same. And so this is because there's a conversion that happens between that realm and this realm and the way we process things. And so it's very interesting when I'm teaching my students and they can see things. It's very interesting because sometimes they get stuck on the detail. And so, as an example, if they're seeing a spirit person and the spirit person is wearing a specific shirt, and I talked about this in my reading today. And so maybe on that shirt that they're wearing, there are pink flamingos all over the shirt. And so the medium student is seeing this and thinking there must be some significance to the pink flamingos on the shirt. Otherwise, why would spirit be showing me something in such detail? There's got to be a meaning behind the pink flamingos. And so what they will learn is sometimes it's not the pink flamingos that the meaning is held in. It's in the way that you saying it or talking about it actually makes the person that you're reading for feel, or it's a feeling that you're getting, and that's what spirit is trying to do. They're trying to get you to feel a certain way. So as an example, maybe seeing the pink flamingos makes you excited or gets you excited or makes you feel like partying or beach or that kind of thing, and makes you feel that. And they're showing you the pink flamingos on the shirt because they want you to pick up that frequency and then share that with the person that you're reading for. But what happens is sometimes we get stuck on the details. And so this is what Spirit gave me as an insight that's happening right now. And so you guys have heard me talk about, we have the two timelines that are happening. We have the very, very strong timeline of fear, of manipulation, of victim energy. We have that very strong timeline that's happening right now. We also have the very, very strong timeline that's happening through the vibration of love, which is the compassion, which is the awareness, which is the empathy, which is the understanding. We have two very distinct timelines happening right now. And you will find that the timeline that is holding the fear vibration is attacking the other timeline. And you would have seen this, witnessed this firsthand on my page the other day when I made the post about how I was feeling about the injustice that was happening, that's happening on our planet right now through what we are experiencing collectively. And I'm incredibly thankful because there was so much support through my followers on my page. And obviously lots of validation because there are many, many like-minded individuals that are on the same path that I'm on. But there were, however, a couple of people, couple of souls who were obviously on the other timeline. And so I wanted you guys to have the awareness of this because you're going to be experiencing people that are not on the same timeline as you. And maybe you're one of them watching right now. Maybe you are on that timeline. And so here is the important part of all of the missing the point stuff. The stuff about the masks, the stuff about the jabs, the stuff about all of that is not where our focus needs to be. It's not where the focus is meant to be. All of the stuff that's happening right now to all of us, because we're sharing this experiences collectively, it's happening to induce a frequency. And so it's happening because we are here to have this experience. And it's through those details that we feel a certain way, that we have the thoughts, that creates the feeling, then creates the frequency, which then creates the experience. And so if we are getting caught up in the details, and I'm just going to give you this just as an example, just the mask wearing. And I know a lot of people who are strongly against wearing the mask. It makes them angry to have to wear it. They don't want to feel like they're being controlled. They don't want to feel like they're being manipulated. And I 100% support everybody that stands up for their truths and stands up for how they feel. But I want you to pay attention to how it's making you feel. Because even though your intention is good, your intention is to not be the victim, is to not be manipulated, is to not be controlled and not be taken advantage of. You have every right to do that. But if you do it through the vibration of fear, which is anger, resentment, bitterness, you're not doing yourself any favor frequency-wise. And if you're not bringing in a good frequency, a higher frequency, then your experiences are going to remain in the lower frequencies. Does that make sense to everybody? So it's the feeling that you are getting from having the experiences that's happening to us right now that's going to create the ripple effect to what your actual experience becomes. And you will notice a similarity in all of the souls right now that are on the fear timeline, because they are still at the place where they are angry and pointing fingers and casting judgments and belittling people. And so be aware of this. Be aware, even if you are somebody, and I hear this all the time, and I know that it's coming from a place of intention of standing up for yourself. But even as something as simple as calling somebody a sheep or calling people sheep, it's name calling. It's name calling. And I can tell you this, when you're calling somebody that name, you're not doing it through the vibration of love. You're not doing it through the vibration of empathy. And that is a huge difference. So be really, really mindful of this, because again, we can't raise our own frequency. We can't expand our own consciousness. We can't step into the experiences that we want, that we desire, that we have come here for, the joy, the bliss, the abundance. We can't have any of that when we are still anchored to lower frequency vibrations. And so remember this in the big picture of things, to not miss the point. And, in that post that I made, the couple of people there was one in particular, one long reply that was in there. And if you go through and you read the reply, all of the stuff that she was saying had nothing to do with the post that I'd made. In the post that I'd made, I'd never mentioned the masks. I never mentioned a hoax. I never mentioned any of the stuff that was being said. Those words never came from me. But when they were coming from her, you could feel the fear, the anger, the bitterness coming from that, because she's stuck on the wrong things. And so this is an eye-opener for everybody, for all of us, to not get stuck on the wrong things. Does that make sense, everybody? Does that make sense to you of how easy it is for us to get stuck in the vibration of fear, in the vibration of anger, even when we think that we are standing up for ourselves, even when we think that we are, trying to come into our power and defend ourselves, we can easily slip into the vibration of fear. And then that frequency will affect the experience that we have. So huge opportunity for us right now to remind ourselves to not get stuck on the details, but to pay attention to how we're feeling, how we are feeling with our frequency. So recognizing the frequency that's coming from within, because the frequency that's coming from within is going to attract the experience, the frequencies that are coming from outside. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. And so over the next little while, we will see the divide happening, right? The souls that are stuck in the fear, we're going to see that. And if you're still one of them, and that obviously there are some that are still following that are still there, then have the awareness right now that frequency is coming from within. So it's not anything that I'm saying to you. It's not anything that you're seeing. It's the frequency that's coming from within. And remember, all the stuff that we're seeing, all the stuff we're reading, all of that stuff are just the details. It's the details. What we need to pay attention to right now is the frequency of how it's making us feel. Okay. So I hope that that makes sense to everybody. I hope there's aha moments and bells going off for everybody, because that is really important for us to get this lesson now. And remember, Spirit's been saying to me for such a long time now about souls coming online. We're coming online. And I feel like that, remember, I've been saying, because I don't pretend to have all the answers. I get the insights as they're given to me, just like everybody else. And I've been saying that they haven't been giving me the full meaning of coming online. And so they're starting to give it to me more and more. And so the coming online meaning is the plugged in. We're plugged in. We're connected. We're on that timeline. That's the coming online that they're talking about. Okay. So I'm just noticing in everybody's comments, I can see Cheryl here is feeling heavy, depressed. Karen feeling foggy. Sad and angry. Blood pressure staying high. Rosetta saying almost went off work, had to catch myself. Yes, yes. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes, guys, that we don't see, that we don't necessarily see everything, right? And a lot of the stuff that's happening right now is the massive shifting. There's so much that's going on right now. And what we're feeling, and especially, those of us who are energetically sensitive or empaths, we're feeling it collectively. So we're literally that filter. We're feeling all of the energies filtering through. And I know something massive is happening today. I could barely function today. The only way that when I was functioning really well was when I was doing my readings, when I was stepping out of my human vehicle and allowing spirit to channel through me. So I know for a fact that the energies are huge right now. And it's in reaction to what's happening on the planet. It's the shake-up. It's shaking things up. And so it's perfectly normal to feel wobbly today. It's perfectly normal to feel ungrounded. And it's perfectly normal. Well, what is normal? It's perfectly good to be feeling the emotional stuff coming up and allowing to come up and be released, right? The thing we want to remind ourselves about all of this stuff that's coming through us is that it's meant to come through and leave, right? It's meant to come in and leave. It's not meant to be permanent. So this is your opportunity to remind yourself not to hang on to anything. If a frequency comes through, an emotion comes through that doesn't feel good to you, you get to choose whether you want to hang on to it or you just want to let it carry on and move through. So remind yourself about that. That's part of our empowerment. It's part of stepping into our power. And especially if you're an empath or a sensitive, because as an empath, we feel the need to hang on to everything. We feel the need to hang on to everybody's everything because we're going to fix it and we're going to heal it and we're going to make it better and I'm going to fix you and I'm going to heal you. And so we learn this lesson the hard way usually. And so have the recognition that you get to choose when that frequency is coming in, when that feeling is coming through. Feel it, allow yourself to feel it, and then allow it to pass and clear through you. Do not become part of it. Do not sit there and hold its hand. Do not convince yourself that you need to feel that forever, because you don't. And you get to choose how you're feeling. You get to choose what frequency you want, what frequency you don't want. It's entirely up to you. You get to choose it. Okay. I love that, Nita. That's great. So she's saying that many times with people, I questioned what was the difference between us. We want the same thing, but we are operating differently. I choose to operate from love and compassion. Yes. And you'll recognize that. And that, you know, thank yourself for that. Love yourself for that. Acknowledge that within you. Acknowledge that we're not shining our lights bright enough for ourselves. We're not acknowledging enough and patting ourselves on the back and saying, that's right, you stand your ground. Don't allow yourself to be bullied. Don't allow yourself to be coerced. And trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. This is huge, guys. We all have this gift. It's our superpower. It's called our intuition. And do you know what can put out your intuition? What can cloud your intuition and fog your intuition? Fear. Fear is literally like a blanket that goes over top of your intuition. And so have that recognition, because even the most fearful people, even the people that are choosing the timeline of fear right now, have the gift of intuition. They have it. They have just allowed the fear vibration to take over. And so you guys get to choose right here, right now, what timeline you want to be on, what frequency you want to be a part of. And I know which frequency I want to choose because I know what feels good. And I know that you know that too. So trust your gut, trust your intuition. And it's okay, Leanne, to recognize that you're fearful. It's okay to have that recognition. But remind yourself that the vibration of fear will never do you any favors. It will never put you on the right path or the right timeline. It will give you experience, and it will give you contrast, but it will never put you in the direction that your soul would take you, because remember, the vibrational frequency of your soul is love. So knowing that and having that recognition, pay attention to how you guide your life and how you direct your life based on what frequency that's coming in. So guys, if as an example, so Leanne, just as an example, if you're thinking about we'll talk about the thing that's happening here. If you're fearful of this virus, and then you think about your options and your options make you fearful, you have to have the recognition that you're following the wrong frequency, that you're following the wrong way. And I promise you this, remember that fear and love are opposites. They sit on the opposite side of each other. So when you're looking at something that's making you fearful and you have the awareness of what it is, if you look at the opposite of it, in the opposite direction of it, you will find the other timeline. You will find the love frequency. So do yourself a favor and look at the things that you're fearful of. Look them straight in the eye. See them for what they are. And then find the opposite of them. And then look that straight in the eye. And recognize how it makes you feel. Have that recognition. And the one thing I want you guys to remind yourselves of is that nobody is alone. You have a divine guidance team that works with you. You have guides, angels, galactic beings, ascended masters. You have such a massive energetic team that works with you. And know that each time you go in the right direction, each time you make a decision that is best for your soul or for your higher self, their energy and their strength behind you gets more and more powerful. Know this and use this as a sign that when you are in the right direction, that power, that strength comes to you. And know for a fact that in those moments where you're feeling lost and alone and neglected and abandoned, know that that's not because they've left you, but it's because you're going in the wrong direction. Use that as an insight. Recognize that as a sign that you're going in the wrong direction. Okay, guys. So make sure that you're not missing the point. Don't get stuck in the details. Huge, huge, huge. Sending you guys all huge, huge blessings, and I will talk to you soon.